Welcome to Yokohama Connect. This is our 41st session for the Yokohama Connect. And thank you everyone for joining in person and joining online. And my name is Yu. I am the program manager for the Yokohama Connect. And our first session is starting now. 皆さん、今日はありがとうございます。横浜コネクト第41回目を始めていきたいと思います。で、今日はですね、対面も、オンラインでも参加いただいている方いらっしゃると思いますけれども、まず最初のセッションはこちら、ポートウェーブ横浜ということで、今回はメインの言語は英語で、英語ですね。英語で進めていきます。で、もし、同時翻訳を使いたいという方はですね、会場にいらっしゃる方は、スクリーンの中の右手にありますライブトランスレーションがありますので、そちらご覧いただくか、QR コードを読み取っていただくと、ご自身のスマートフォンでも同じものをご覧いただけます。For those who wants to use live translation, please look at the right side of the stage, or you can also scan the QR code and you can read it in your smartphone. So our first session is PORTWAVE Yokohama. And PORTWAVE Yokohama is the series session in Yokohama Connect to inviting the innovators from all over the world to understand and learn from them about their entrepreneurial journey. And today, I'm happy to have Shafaq from the States to understand more about what he's doing and your business and what kind of trends is coming up. So please welcome Shafaq.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's great to be here after a week at Kyoto at IVS. So I'm Shafaq Abdullah. I lead AI Earth Fund for Sustainability. So AI Earth Fund is an investment company which invests in multiple asset classes, including growth stage, early stage growth stage to late stage startups, data centers, AI infrastructure, renewable energy infrastructure, and real estate and philanthropy and so on and so forth. So the aim of AI Earth Fund is to set gold standard for SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, and financial reporting, and essentially create like a climate reserve system to balance climate debtors and climate creditors, which essentially leads to a harmonious society and scale it via using equitable financial models or risk models so that opportunity is created for everyone.
Thank you. So could you also tell me more about what you're doing, why you're starting, and how's your background of the past experience?
Yeah, sure. So over the last decade or so, basically, I've been going through this entrepreneur journey, which leads to the formation or realization of AI Earth Fund. And about in 2014, I started a company called InSnap with other co-founders. It was basically instantaneous personalization on the fly. So you can basically, like if you're using Twitter app, it can give you more results about your feed, enrich it as a SaaS, and also like with some consumer application of that. It got acquired by one of the household, and I ended up scaling it to $300 million revenue across different business functions, including personalization, inventory optimization, sales, and also ad targeting. So that was my journey, and I ended up from Silicon Valley to Los Angeles, which is a very different urban neighborhood. So I ran into local city officials in the expo, and they wanted me to come to the city hall because they wanted to discuss problems with me. And since I was living in the community, so I said I welcomed that opportunity. So when I went there, city of Hawthorne, they actually said, "Hey, we have this bunch of problem, parking problem, dumping problem. Why don't you help us? You are entrepreneur, local entrepreneur who has the skills, and we need help." So I ended up like launching Parkonomik, which is underutilized parking in urban dense neighborhoods with like churches, restaurants, any excess parking they have. We could open it up and provide this opportunity for local residents who are living in multiple story apartments, don't have parking, have a bunch of cars, like in Los Angeles, everyone has that. So they could basically like use this app to instantly book daily and a monthly package. So that created like this AI also parking congestion index, which could be used as a growth flywheel, as well as like create this public-private partnership. Now the COVID happened, and following the growth trajectory of we call it recursive growth. So it actually same restaurant owners were asking us, "Hey, why don't you help us with the delivery? You're already generating a bunch of revenue for us. Now we can go on vacation, for example, to Hawaii." So we ended up like delivering this, making this whole stack and expanded into Shopanomic, which is last mile delivery optimization, and connected different warehouses to the restaurants and create this delivery graph which could be optimized. And then at that time, we ran into like, we piqued the interest of lots of VC in sustainability and clean tech. So we got this Launchpad Seed Fund program, which help underserved students to upskill for the green economy, and we help train them in our company as they build our product. So that journey continued, and since we kind of got an endorsement as well as funding, so the way to scale this thesis was formed around AI Earth Fund, and that is how we can scale entrepreneurship by basically aggregating socio-economic positive flywheels and yield those balanced impact in terms of financial returns and balanced environmental as well as social economic outputs. So that was the basis of the AI Earth Fund, and then basically a thesis was formed, which I can talk about.
So yeah, I think you're talking about your journey and how you coming to not starting from the how can I say, as an entrepreneur, starting from the solving the issue in the local market or local city, then ending up to how you educate the entrepreneur in the ecosystem, then now becoming a fund for scaling more for the both like a business and social impacts. So could you also tell me more about what kind of trends you're seeing and also the thesis background?
Yeah, so definitely. So basically, the way it can be generalized or broken up into like a top-down and bottom-up approach. So the bottom-up approach is we call it problem solution differential, similar to what Kaizen, I think Japanese people are used to of iterating over things for achieving the excellency, and that's one of the values of the AI Arts Fund. So basically, it proposes that problem solution differential framework, so we can actually pick up those parameters to understand the problem, which every entrepreneur should, as a maximum truth-seeking opportunity, and for forming a solution around it, and then making this model around balanced financial returns as well as scaling using those different parameters at a different journey, which defines the growth trajectory. We call it recursive growth. Now, in order to scale that from top down, we actually propose something called a climate. First of all, define the credit in a different way. The credit is like AI infra, a product of Human Innovation Index and SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. So if we productize those things, we can actually create a credit and create this flywheel, essentially, which can balance the climate debtors with the climate creditors and create this climate reserve system, which can scale all of this at the same time, create those job opportunities, economic opportunities, and also like the balanced environmental impact across the society. And this, along with those values of those funds, are community driven, accountability, transparency, and excellence. So these are the values of the funds, and obviously collaboration. So I think those also kind of it gels pretty well with what I've seen here and learned. Like it kind of resonates a lot, and those values actually hold if truly hold to the mission. They can actually help scale this entrepreneurship journey for rest of the founders, hopefully.
Thank you. So you now answering my second question, which is anchor question. So what core about value anchors your work, and can you share about how you using that value to overcome some challenges? So this you just mentioning about your fans core value, those like five elements, but which one, or you can put like your own core values that you think really resonated to your day-to-day work or as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of those values which we talked about, collaborative, being transparent, being community driven, and also like driving the excellence or shooting for the excellence. But for that to happen, you need to have a clear conscience so that you are actually grounded in reality as well as always like holding your ground in the face of obstacles. So I think those are pretty important, and this journey has been through the manifestation of, hey, if you can actually do that and put your trust, in God, and then basically like try to set the goals and try to set those and remain true to that, and essentially like have those network effects which can yield very positive results.
So you also do some the like-minded community together with not only you but also the creating the network, the better network to encourage more collaboration, not just within the community but also beyond. So, which is also what I want to see the next question, which is port question. Like, if you could like now you're starting from the Silicon Valley and Los Angeles and then coming to Yokohama. So you can also include this kind of geographic destination. But also, if you can choose any new port for your next collaboration, what would be? What it would be?
Yeah, so I think it's like basically like I said, the mindset, right? So I prioritize the mindset. If you stick to those values and if you have the mindset, I will actually bring a little bit of a quantum nuance here. Like, so if you have a conscience perception, so that your reality is actually based on that. So it becomes like that. So that's one of the things called observer effect in quantum mechanics. And I feel like it kind of works everywhere because if you hold them strong, you kind of eschew the community and make it attractive for them to basically like become a magnet and create this network effects which actually amplify the socioeconomic effects.
So as a platform, you are also as an investor to finding a portfolio, and it's how can you find the light fit, or how you see the someone's mindset if that value is aligned with what you're looking for?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question and something which I've been essentially also discovering. So I think, as I said, the mindset is pretty important, but you cannot evaluate it in a single conversation. It's hard. So what we look at is like, I asked for the journey here. Why did you start your startup? What were you doing before? And how did you make those decisions in order to come to XYZ, right? So I asked some of those questions to understand, to gauge as to what is the founder motivation and what are the key priorities which they actually lay down. So that and then we kind of just like discovery, like hey, we think of it like a voltage probes, one grounded and the one positive. You always measuring those signals as a founder and as an investor. On the other side, hey, is this founder capable enough to, withstand those obstacles because he's true to his mission and values? So as much as we say that, hey, if you align with our mission and values and have your own something which actually supersedes that, like for the excellence, that's actually great. That's what we want. We want us to become your follower ultimately. And then we give you this like a playground to kind of start and prosper or grow. So these are the things which we do it takes some time for us to actually make up a decision, but it also like determines if there's enough positive social signals out there, social proof with the founder journey, which gives us like a validation that okay, this has enough community behind us and he has enough conviction in himself and also in the mission, so which will yield the results.
Interesting. So my next question is, I think that's also could be the relevant to what you discuss, what you answer. The next question is a failure question. So you, I think you spent 1 week now in Tokyo or in Japan, and then you met Kyoto
Yeah.
2 days.
5 days.
5 days. So you met so many people,
Yeah.
and you're always looking for the potential collaborators. So maybe related to that, what is the most valuable lessons you have learned from the failure, and how you utilizing that to making the better network or better business together with them?
Yeah, I think failure for me is all about learning, right? So I don't think any startup can fail if it's actually grounded in reality to start with. Back to our problem solution differential framework, right? But one of the things which I really aspire about the decision making as a founder and as an entrepreneurial journey was at the time that when we launched this Parkonomik, and at that time we had an option to scale to 22 cities in airport parking. But at the same time, we had an opportunity to work with VCs in clean tech and sustainability. Because our heart was in that sustainability, so we actually chose the other one. Although I did want it to kind of a balance out, but the capitalists which I was working with, did not allow us to grow in that dimension, which was fine with me because I had to make some sacrifices and adjustment. But I feel like it will pay off, and it kind of has been paying off. And being in here in Japan, I feel like it kind of resonates a lot, and I am enjoying my stay and enjoying my connections here.
So what is the difference between you basically based in US, and then now you often come to Japan as well. So what's the ecosystem or the value is different each other, or is it like similar to you?
Yeah, I think what I feel like is like here, being here, I'm still kind of a learning, observing. But one of the things is like they're very collaborative here, Japanese people, and they're very mission driven. They're very focused into precision making things. So I think those are the things which I greatly value with the AI Arts Fund thesis. One thing is that the scaling of that, how would you scale those ventures? I think that's where we also want to find the right fit so we can actually help scale them. Because in US, those companies are essentially number one, they are built for global scale and they have the capital and they have the resources to do that. I think we can repeat the same pattern here. We just have to like you know, follow the rule like, hey, of the portfolio construction, which is the sum of parts should be greater than the whole, which actually unearth this latent parameters, which could be quadratic or order of magnitude, which actually yield more balanced return and growth strategies for the portfolio company. And I think that's where the magic happens when there's a synergy among the portfolio companies, and the construction is kind of aligned with that.
So that you see that lots of similarity especially in the excellence and also the collaboration. And maybe you mentioned the Kaizen method, but also if we can add more like the mindset of the scalability, that will be
Exactly.
more opportunity coming up.
Yeah, so I think that's where hopefully give them these opportunities, and the way we basically like go global also from the day one. We also think just not Japanese market, the Japanese founders, but I actually make their product viable in other markets as well, and then also set the communication standards higher, and also like aim for those results. So I think that's definitely those are the things which can be ported from the Silicon Valley culture here, and essentially amplified and scaled with some of the fund thesis and some of the fund values and mission. I don't know.
I'm also curious that you're focusing on AI, and AI is a huge trend in everywhere in the world, and also especially in the States and maybe in the Silicon Valley. But the climate side is like now, like world is also like they are taking a very like different initiatives and then different trends. So I also want to coming back to my first wave question, the current trends, especially in the States. What's the climate tech or the sustainability like innovation field? Do you see like the trend is still there, or it's like slowing down or going to the different way?
Yeah, so I think it varies along the geography, that trend. Obviously, with the new administration, the trend has kind of has been slow. They have reversed the policies, bunch of them, but I feel like in general, the trend is still growing across the globe, right? And even if you take, I feel like Japan or APAC market, th those markets are very focused on sustainability development goals, and there's a lot of focus on, although AI infrastructure across different domains, I would say. And when I say infrastructure, which basically means that everybody wants to have their own control of their data, control of their, sovereignty of data. So I think that trend is growing, and then since there's a huge energy demand, so that ties with the climate angle greatly, because those energy sources need to be renewable, they need to be sustainable. So and it kind of works very well with local economies and some of the countries in mid-tier regional power, like for example Japan, which is trying to make a footprint or foothold in that. So I think that's a great opportunity in that. That's the trend which I'm seeing, and so many technologies, interesting technologies along the sustainability are being developed, and I feel like if the communities collaborate together to scale those technologies, and then we have this system, climate reserve system, which it can be scaled very rapidly and yield very positive effects, socioeconomic effects.
So you focusing on AI and climate, and for me, sustainability and SDGs. I'm also using AI every day, but I'm also still kind of questioning myself that using AI is using a lot of energy, as you just mentioned. That how you're gonna take a balance, like what kind of like and also how we can use AI more ethically. So that's also like if you trying to balance those things, not just for the balancing impact, like social impact and business impact, but also especially focusing on, especially talking about AI, there's so many controversial or like sometimes conflicting impacts. So how do you see like how we can balance that?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So the AI has been proliferating in a bunch of industries, and we use it on daily basis. So some of the things is like how do we ensure that it's within the ethics domain? So I go back to the framework like accountability, transparency, excellence, community-driven collaboration. I think those still hold even in applying AI and how we scale that. Now, if we look at those, let's say, for example, different advanced models, ChatGPT, Claude, and all that, I think they do provide some value add to the job functions, but at the same time, the enterprise has been reluctant in adopting those because of the uh, secret sauces, basically like in the workflows, and the workflows are automated using some else cloud, so they actually give away that. So I think that's like I'm seeing this problem all over the world. The enterprise are very hesitant in adopting, and so now comes with the open source technology. There's with the AI models. I think China is actually making a lead in there, so they are making some headway, and those models can be adopted to your enterprise domain easily with much less cost and much less energy requirements. So I think that's one of the way to grow that. And at the same time, one of the things which we I always ask, like, hey, those AI models, are they trained on the data which the actually company actually owns, or they are trained on someone else's data, which are in some kind of a lawsuit with that company, right? So we are seeing that trend a lot. So I think that also boils down to the ethics, and then there's a safety element which is also very important, because some of the things may not be should be easily available, just like think of it like a tool to help you, but at the same time the negative forces can use those tools to do something which is nefarious or illegal or harmful, right, for the societies. So I think that's where there should be an open source version which controls and everything, and then there could be enhanced version which are kind of bounded within this ethics framework of accountability and transparency. There should be explainability in the AI, in whatever we are doing. It should be able to track, what are the sources. Think of it like a Wikipedia or library. But that librarian is much more verbose, but at the same time, they are much more transparent because they can tell you what it is, but at the same time, kind of a back off when they think that they are not making statement which may not be totally true and which needs more research. So that's like one of the problems in LLM in general, that they tend to be, they tend to hallucinate. But I feel like it will, hopefully, with the advent of this open source technology, catching up with the closed source model, and then adopting those frameworks which we talked about, the values. I think there will be more positive effects. And if we kind of tweak our economic and innovation cycle around those and keep developing and focus on the SDG, so I think that we have a very viable future for the planet, for the people.
Thank you. I see more like hope or people going to the more human or ethical way to use and how we can utilize this technology for the better society. So that's also going to be my last question for you, that forward question. So in one sentence or a very quick summary, that what change do you want to see, you hope to see in the next 5 years?
Well, as I said, I want to see the application of those core democratic values, which we hold very closely, into the innovation cycle. And I want to also see how the innovation cycle is evolved around the SDGs, and also the capital itself is circulated around with the innovation cycle, so that it actually yields a balanced portfolio returns for the LP shareholders, but also like balances yields positive socio-economic effects with this very, I would say, promising technology in the AI and in the quantum computing, which we are following. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I look forward to use more collaboration in the wider community, and hopefully you can also come back to the Yokohama. If you have any like last comments for the people in Yokohama or our venture cafe community.
Yeah, definitely. I would say I would love to hang out more with the founders here, and learn more about what they're doing, how especially like sharing the story, how they come with their solution, with their product, what are their next plans, how they're using AI, and if they are more into like adopting a technology stack which is very much, I would say, full stack, which is based on the open source, and how they are trying to like tackle the challenges of energy, tackle the challenges of safety and explainability and transparency while applying the AI into their businesses.
Thank you. So please, those who are joining today in person at this venue, please come say hi to him, and hope we can have a next collaboration idea. So thank you, thank you, Shafaq, for the wonderful talk and a very insightful story. And this is the end of today's PORTWAVE Yokohama Talks on Global Innovation. So thanks to everyone here joining us today, and hope you enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you very much, and please send a lot of applause to him.